Wait. Yes! Good boys. Very good. Bye. Up. Good boy. Up. Sometimes Jalba likes a little bit of extra encouragement. He's just lazy, he can do it. And that's why the harness is so good. Alright, so once I get them in the car, I actually have a chain set up in the back, and I just clip it in to this like carabiner, and I've got another one here as well, which I clip into this one, just so they don't get into any squabbles in the back of the car, because they have done that before. If they haven't been chained in, one will go too close to the other and then they have squabbles. So alright, let's go. Gonna go for a walk. Gonna go for a walk, yeah. Well, as I head out to the location where I'm going to be walking the boys today, I just wanted to say that I am making this video based on my experience with the two boys that I have. I think dingoes are probably a little bit like people. They are going to have slightly different personalities, but in terms of exercise, the two guys that I have, they are pretty similar in terms of their energy requirements and what they need to kind of get out their system during the course of a day. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I do with them, and I'm going to take you back home as well at some point during the video, and I'll talk to you all about their sleep patterns and what to expect in terms of that. And I also will be responding to a question that was asked by an Instagram follower, so hopefully you all enjoy this video and get something out of it, and yeah, hopefully I can help somebody that might be struggling a little bit with their dingo at home, because I know in the first couple of months that I had Rusty, my family, we struggled a little bit managing his energy. So we're almost at the location where I'm going to be walking them today, and yeah, I'll get stuck into it. Okay, so now that we've got to the location, I always make them wait before we get out the car. So wait, and I can stand back, and they'll just sit there like good boys until I tell them. Yes, good boys. Good boys for waiting. Throughout this video, you'll also see me doing some things with my boys that you might not feel comfortable doing yourself, so I'm certainly not encouraging you to do something that's out of your comfort zone, and that will be things like walking on top of logs and across fallen down trees and even up rocky surfaces and stuff like that. But I will talk a little bit more about it with you later on in the video. Also, throughout this video, I'm going to show you some clips of me being silly with the boys, because I think this is a good way for me to build up a relationship of trust with them. So I have this video clip where I'm having a bit of a play fight with Rusty, and I'll show you some other clips along the way. And then towards the end, there's a video clip of me biting Rusty's neck and giving him kisses and just kind of being silly and having a laugh. And it'll kind of show you all what it's like having a dingo around the home as a companion animal. Gentle. Gentle. Good boy for being gentle. Yes. You're a good boy for being gentle. Ah, you're just being a big softie now. Come here. Rah. Rah. Are you recording? Oh. They do like to have a wrestle. Hey, come here. Oh, that's a big pile of horse poo. Get out of it. Haven't come across that before. Jalba! Yuck. Oh yeah, let's fight over the horse poo. That's a treat and a half. Ah! Yeah, so I just mentioned that they like to wrestle. It was a true statement. They love wrestling, they do. And that's how they burn off a lot of their energy on an evening. They'll spend 2 to 3 hours on an evening chasing each other around the yard and having a wrestle. And sometimes they get pretty rough with each other, but that's just the way things are. And yeah, I just wanted to point out though that even though I say they love wrestling, they do have different personalities. Jalba on the left there, he doesn't like wrestling with me at all. If I try egg him on to wrestle, he usually looks at me like, "What are you doing, man? Leave me alone." But Rusty, on the other hand, if I egg him on, then it's hard to get him to stop because he absolutely loves to roughhouse with me, which is fantastic. I actually did want a dog that I could wrestle around with from time to time. And I know I say dog, and dingoes definitely are not dogs, but I never aspired to be a dingo owner. I was actually looking for a dog that would be suitable for my family, and we happened to stumble upon these two guys, and it's been an absolute treat looking after them for the last year and a bit. So I'm really enjoying my time with them, and I think it's such a wonderful experience that I was able to find them and that I'm able to provide them with a home. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. They do have different personalities. You know, some dingo owners will probably say, you know, my dingo stays in bed all day long, doesn't go anywhere. Some people might say my dingo never stops. So yeah, I just want to point out, I'm speaking purely from my experience with these two fellas right here. Now that I've spent about 30 minutes walking these boys through the forest and letting them kind of explore and exercise their nose and brain muscles, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about how much exercise they actually need. Now, when we first got Rusty here, we really struggled because we had no idea how to manage his energy requirements. Now, we started off doing like 5K walks with him. They turned into 8K walks, which turned into 10K walks. Eventually I found myself doing 17K walks with him for 5 hours, just trying to let him smell and exercise his brain and tire himself out. And it didn't seem like anything we were doing was working. He just had oodles of energy. We'd come back home, I'd be beat, and he would be doing zoomies around the backyard by himself. And it really was difficult for us to manage how much energy he had. But now we've got Jalba, we actually find that it really works out so much better because they have each other to bounce off, and they wrestle and play fight in the yard at the end of the day for a couple of hours and burn off any excess energy that they have left over. So if you are struggling with your dingo, try and mix things up, because you might find that they don't actually require as much walking as you first thought. Now, the reason why I say that is because, yes, we did struggle at first, but that might have just been because he was new. He'd only been with us for a few months, and he was probably still excited about being in our home, being around my kids and things like that. So he just had all this energy, but now he's settled in and we have a really good routine. They have a really good sleep pattern, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. And they have each other, which we find has been really beneficial as well. So now I actually find them to be quite versatile. If I want to do a short walk because I don't have much time, then they will do a short walk with me, and then, like I say, they have each other to play with at the end of the day. If I want to do a really long walk, if I want to go hiking up in the hills or something, then there is no issues with that either, and they will come with me on that adventure as well. So I actually do find them to be quite versatile, and I think at first, in those first few months, it was purely just because he was overexcited about the new home that he had and the new family that he had. So show your beautiful face to the camera. Yeah, all right. So let's head back home now, and we'll talk a little bit about their sleep patterns. Now, my two boys, they sleep from about 8:30 at night until about 10:30 the next morning. If it's a warm day, they sometimes stay out a bit later, but they're usually in bed probably no later than 9:30. But yeah, on average it's about 8:30 till 10:30 they'll be in bed. They do get up a couple of times a night to go to the bathroom, usually once or twice. And in the morning when my kids get up and get ready for school, they sometimes get up and say hello to them, but they generally hover around this area. We actually have this bunk bed set up, so you can see Jalba is just down there, and they've got this little step stool to get up to the top bunk here, where Rusty is right now. So they sleep for about 16 or 17 hours a day. I don't know how true that is to dingoes out in the wild. I know they're probably going to be a bit more active because they're out looking for food, and they would probably keep going until they have their fill, I suppose. And now that we're back from a walk, they will come back here as well. So I take them out, could be anywhere between a K to 5Ks on a walk, depending on what I'm able to do with them on a given day. And they'll come back here and they'll chill out and just kind of nap and sleep until it's dinner time. We feed them about 3 or somewhere between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. depending on what suits us better at the time, depending on the different activities that we're doing during the course of the week. And then after that, they will have their dinner and then they play. They play with each other in the backyard, chasing each other around, wrestling, because they do like to wrestle, as I've mentioned before, out on the trail. And yeah, they do like to wrestle with each other and burn off any extra energy they have left over from the course of the day. And that will be from anywhere from about 6 o'clock in the evening all the way through till they're ready for bed, which is about 8:30, and then the cycle repeats itself. So yeah, now we have a pretty good pattern with them. We're pretty familiar with their requirements and what they're going to need. And now I'm going to take you back out on track, and I'm going to respond to a message that was sent to me by a follower on Instagram. So one of my Instagram followers reached out, sent me a message and asked, how do I walk 2 dingoes at the same time? Don't their leads always get tangled up? It does happen on occasion, but for the most part, I get away with holding the lead like this, and I'll show you how to do that now. So a friend of mine has a German Shepherd, which is a large, powerful dog. He weighs about 45 kilos, and that's more than these guys combined. So what he does is he holds the lead like that, and what happens is if they make a break for it after a prey animal, this will slip down through my hand and it will cinch down on my thumb, so there's no way that it's gonna slip out of my hand. I actually used to hold the lead with my hand through the loop like that, and I used to grip it down here, and one day Rusty saw a bird and he took off after it, and it's actually slipped down the back of my hand and he almost got off. I only just managed to save it with my pointer finger, so I was very lucky. So now, thanks to my friend, I hold the lead like this. All right, let's go this way. Good boy, come on, this way. So as they stop to smell and sniff around their environment, see how the lead's gone slack? I just pull hold of that slack with my free hand, and it just allows me to stop them from getting tangled up. I filmed this video over the course of a few sessions and a few different walks to kind of also showcase some of the different locations that I walk to, because I also think that changing up the location makes things interesting for them and also helps when I exercise them. Another thing I can do while I'm holding the leads like this, I use these top 2 fingers sometimes to grab hold of that lead. So if they're both walking closer to me, I can actually just grab hold of that lead like that if it's shorter, and then as they start to walk further away, I just slowly release it, and it just stops the lead from getting tangled up. I find that this is the best way that I've been walking them anyway, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit. This way. something else I do with them. I try to teach them different speeds that I like to go or travel at. So I have a command for them to run and a command for them to walk. So if I want them to kind of pick up the tempo a little bit, I'll give them the command to run. Wait. Wait. Rusty's still pulling. Okay. Wait. Okay. Yes, go. So this is one of those situations I was talking about where sometimes I walk along tree logs with them, and I kind of do this just to do a little bit of agility training with them and just to change things up a bit and keep it interesting for them. Another reason why I like to change up the tempo with them sometimes, although I do try to let them sniff walk and exercise their brains as much as possible, on occasions I do want them to pick up the tempo because I might be running short on time and I need them to get back to the car, or I might have to traverse an obstacle like this one, so giving them a command to go a bit quicker helps me get up structures like this. This way. Good boys. Just enjoying the sunset. This is the video clip that I mentioned at the start of the video where I talked about kissing him and kind of biting him on the neck, and the reason why I wanted to show you this video clip is so that you can see his response when I pester him a little bit and show him some love and affection. That's my ear. And as you can see, he handles it really well. So I'm biting his neck and I'm just being really silly with him, and he just takes it like a champ. So yeah. Really cool animal, and I'm so pleased that we were able to find them and help give them a good home. You're a good boy. Are you a good boy? See? Dingoes are pretty cool. He doesn't care. Come on, let's go. This way. Yes. Jalba, this way. You. Well, it's time to close out this video, and I thought it'd be pretty nice to show you all this magnificent sunset. I've been coming down here on an evening several times now, and I just think this looks absolutely glorious. So in closing, I just want to summarize and say one thing that I haven't actually mentioned. If I'm desperate and I don't have much time, then the shortest walk I've ever done with them was about 20 minutes, and they seem to do okay with that because they have each other and can run around the yard and exercise at the end of the day if needed. But yeah, on average I probably walk about 2Ks with them, and that is more than enough. I'm finding our routine is quite good now. It's quite consistent, and I'm finding 2Ks is pretty good. I take it slow, I let them sniff, I let them exercise their brain, and you can see they're both doing that right now, just going along the track. So I'm going at their pace, I'm not going at my pace, and they're just exercising their brains, which is really crucial. Now yeah, if I fancy doing a longer walk, I actually find them to be quite versatile, and they can certainly walk a lot longer if I want to. I've done a 17K walk with Rusty before. I've also taken the boys up into like the Bells Rapids region, and we've gone climbing up some of the hills there. I probably did about 6 or 7Ks that day, I can't remember. But yeah, they can certainly walk a lot further. If you wish to have a companion to do that with you, then yeah, they are more than capable of doing that. But yeah, I find just changing up the routine is more than enough to keep them healthy and to keep them happy. Isn't that right, Rusty? So thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you all on the next adventure.